Hello, and welcome to a Sudoku special. This puzzle is by full deck and missing a few cards. Those are names that you should probably be familiar with. If not from this channel, then they are I guess you could say, a dynamic duo of puzzle setters, and they've been featured on many a channel here on YouTube. But specifically, why why they've been on my channel is not actually for puzzles they set, but for puzzles that their students set. So they ran a Sudoku class, I guess technically two Sudoku classes, and they had their students learn how to set puzzles. And these puzzles were compiled into, I was going to say a book, but actually two books now. So there was a Signet Sudoku, Volume 1, which I've gone through and I've solved all the puzzles in that volume. And we also have Signet Sudoku Volume 2 now out. So I'll link their website down below, which will have, this puzzle here, their other puzzles that they set, as well as their students' puzzles with the whole Signet Sudoku thing. I've already started solving Volume 1, or sorry, Volume 2, but we probably won't see that until I have some time to kind of edit down those streams. In any case, today's puzzle, like I said, is from Full Deck and missing a few cards themselves. Haven't solved one of their puzzles yet, so this will be exciting. It is called Tartan McGregor. Standard Sudoku rules apply. The digits 1 through 9 appear in every row, column, and box. Column indexing. Digits placed in red cells indicate the position of the corresponding column number 2, 5, or 8 in that row. So we get a for example. So for example, if row 1, column 2 were a 6, then row 1, column 6 would be a 2. So because this is in the red cell in column 2, this 6 tells us where 2 appears in the row. 2 appears in the 6th slot. If this was instead, let's say, 7, then 2 would appear in the 7th slot. So on and so forth down the line for 2, 5, and 8. Then we have our row indexing. Digits placed in green cells indicate the position of the corresponding row number 2, 5, or 8 in that column. With another for example, if row 2, column 1 were a 6, then row 6, column 1 would be a 2. So this is a 6. It is telling us that the 2, right, because this is the second row, the 2 will go in the 6th position in this column. And yeah, that's it. Those are the rules. Let's jump right into it. All right, so a long time ago, we had Phillips 1 to 9 puzzle pack, and it had a very similar indexing pattern with the overlaid, row indexing and column indexing that went across the full rows and columns. And in his puzzle, he had it in rows 1, 5, 9 and columns 1, 5, and 9. This time we're dealing with 2, 5, 8 and 2, 5, 8. But there are some things that I spent a lot of time, I guess we could say, trying to figure out for the first time, kind of trying to learn how these variants interacted with each other. And before I actually start solving, I know I've started the timer, but I'd like to give some insights. So maybe if you were stuck and you decided that you wanted to try this puzzle for yourself, that you would have that information before I actually start trying to place any digits. So one thing to note is that when a set of row or column indexes are kind of continued like this in a single box, you essentially have a mini entropy line. So standardly, when we see our entropy lines, and I'll actually just draw it out here, this 3-length entropy line would tell us that we would need one high digit, one low digit, and one medium digit. Not necessarily in that order in these 3 cells. A low digit would be from the set 1, 2, 3. a middle digit or a medium digit, if I call it that, 4, 5, and 6, and then a high digit would be 7, 8, and 9. The reason is because let's say it wasn't. Let's say it wasn't an entropy line and we said this was 7, 8, and 9. That would tell us that 2 appears in the 7th cell, 2 appears in the 8th cell, and 2 appears in the 9th cell. You can see where the problem is coming from. So what's going on here is each cell here can only refer to one of the boxes, right? It can only refer to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3. You can't have multiple 1, 2, 3 references because then that would place two twos in this box or this box or this box as an example. And that's just kind of a pretty neat trick. That's kind of the basics for the row and column indexing, but there's something else that happens with these intersections. So if you weren't maybe sure how to go forward, then maybe try to take that, try to, I guess, discover this next step for yourself. But maybe if you're still struggling a bit, or maybe if you're just sitting here just waiting for me to actually start solving this puzzle, then we can look at the intersections. So something very interesting happens at the intersections in that if an intersection points to its box either, or I guess points to its row numbers or column numbers within its box, then you can break it. So, for example here, if we were to say that this, right, pointing to our own box here, either 1, 3, or, right, because row 1, row 3, column 4, column 6. So let's say this was 4 in this case. What that does is because of, in this case 4 is referring to this section of the box here, right, column 4 and 5, this is telling us that 5 appears in column 4. Obviously this is not going to work here, but the point is to try to give us some insight. So now with this 4, 5, we have a problem. We were talking about how each of these sets of 3 is supposed to be its own entropy line. So what happens is if you place a box, like a row or column referential cell, then what happens is you'll break your entropy rule. So for example, if this was 3, let's say, and we looked, in this case, we're saying where does the 2 appear in this column? Well, it appears in the 3rd slot. Well, now this 3, 2 in this direction, even though before we were looking at the row indexer, now the column indexer is broken because 3, 2, again, is not following our entropy rules. 3 would be pointing here for 5, and 2 would be pointing here for 5. So that's something interesting to note as well. So, for example, here, you couldn't have 1, 3, or 1, 3. In this case, you couldn't have 1, 3, or 4, 5. You couldn't have 1, 3, or 7, 9. You could have your own digit. Like, this could just be 8, and 8 could just refer to itself. But I guess, yeah, you can't refer to other cells, I guess, in the row or column version. So hopefully that made sense. 5 minutes in, we'll actually start solving the puzzle. I guess we'll reset the time here, and let's just jump right into it. So right off the bat, we do have 5 and 2, and we know that we have to do some row and column indexing anyways, so let's just do it now. 2 appears in the 4th slot here. Then 2 appears in the 7th slot here. 5 appears in the 4th slot. And 5 appears in the 3rd slot from this direction. That's all we should be able to do. Theoretically, each one should only have 2 referring to it at most, so I think we're set. Now, the question is how we fill, like, these cells out here, or these cells out here, or these cells out here. I guess even these cells out here, because, yeah, because of the way the intersections are interacting, maybe this is a good place to start because we already have a 4. 4 is our middle digit. So we need a low digit or a high digit to go here. Well, there's a problem. We need a low digit or a high digit, right? It couldn't be 1 or 3 because, right, 1 or 3 would cause that same problem. Let's just do it real quick. If I said that this is 1, this would tell us what? That 2 appears in the first slot, and now we have broken our entropy. The same thing happens with 3. So we can't have 3 or 1 here. We can't have 5 or 6 because we've already used the middle digit, and from our 7, 8, 9, this is the column 7, this is the column 9, so obviously column 7 will break and column 9 will break because of the entropy stuff. So in that case, we only have 2 options. This will actually only be 2 or 8. So that was a good spot, I guess, right off the bat. If it's 8, it just refers to itself. If it's 2, then it points back over here to make this 8. Which is interesting because, yeah, because as we're going through here, we'll realize it can't be 1 or 3, it can't be 4, 5, or 6, obviously, but it can't additionally be 8, because if this is 2, then this is 8, and if this is 8, then obviously this can't be 8. So let's actually go through, do the work, and figure out what this needs to be. It can't be 1 or 3, it could be 2. Can it be 4, 5, 6? No. Can it be 7, 8, 9? It can be 7. It can't be 8, as we've just said. It can't. It can be 9. So if this were 2, this would be 5, and then this would be 8, and that would be fine. 8 would just refer to itself. This was 7. Oh, sorry. It can't be 7 because of the 4. How did I miss that? And if it's 9, then this is 5, which doesn't work. So actually, I didn't think this was going to happen, but I think we have our first digit. Let's double check. Can't be 1 or 3. Can't be 4, 5, or 6. 7, 8, 9. It can't be 7. It can't be 8, because if it's 8, then this would need to be 5, but it can't be 5. So, and it can't be 9, because if it was 9, then, wait. Yes, if this was 9, then 2 would go here. That would make, oh wait, no, wait. What was I saying? Why can't this be 9? This is 9, this is 2, then this is 8. And that's fine. 2 refers to itself. 8 would place 2 here, and I think that would be fine. Actually, never mind. Oh no, sorry, it's 5. Sorry. 9 places 5. That's why. I was like, I thought this broke. It does. If we place 9 here, that would make this 5, and that doesn't work with our entropy, which means it has to be 2, which makes this 8. 2 gives us 5. 5 also gives us 2 here. So now we're kind of getting that nice self-referential thing going on around the ring. Which we had in the 159 puzzle, but we were a little bit more limited in that puzzle because, anyways, you should go watch that if you're interested. But all right, 4, 8 tells us we need a low digit, which means this needs to be 1 or 3. 1 or 3 says that in this column, sorry, 8 first of all gives us 2. 2 gives us 8. We should do all of that work. 8 refers to itself here. 8 refers to the 2 here. Right, 2 refers to itself here. I'm making sure I'm looking good there. I think I am. 1, 3 places 2 here or here. All right. I guess let's, we've done a lot of work here already. Oh, 2, 7, let's actually do that first. Oh, and this needs to be a high digit. So this has to be 7, 8, or 9, which, why this is useful for us is that it places 5 somewhere here. Oh, well. I guess we already knew 5 had to go somewhere there, but yes, so it gives us the options for 5. Theoretically, we'll start to eliminate those options down a bit more, but what I was going to look at is 7, 2. It means we're missing 4, 5, 6. It can't be 5, so it must be 4 or 6, which means 2 appears either in the 4th or 6th slot, which also just makes sense by Sudoku. 6, 2. All right, let's look at the intersections because that's what I wanted to do. So 3 says this can't be 1 or 2. Um, because of where it's located, it can't be 4, 5, or 6, which means this must be 7, 8, or 9. 7, 8, or 9, which 7, 8, 9 tells us that 5 goes somewhere here, right in the red part. Like, where does 5 go here? And 7, 8, 9 tells us that 5 goes somewhere here. If that's the case, the middle digit that needs to exist here is going to have to be a 6. So 5 definitely goes in one of these two slots, which again makes sense by Sudoku. Let's see if we can't do more work. So 7, 8, 9 doesn't look like it's going to be very helpful right now. This cell here, it can't be 7, 9. Oh, it can't be 5, can it? Because 5 would refer... Oh, no, but 5 would refer to itself. It can be 5. Can't be 4 or 6, though. So this could be 1, and place 8 over here. Six, 6. 5, yeah. So it can't be 6 or 8, and it can't be 7 or 9. So this is either 1 or 5. 8 goes either here or here. And I assume by similar work, this is going to be just as eliminated. So column 4, 5, it can be from the set 1, 2, or 3. It can't be 2, so it is 1 or 3. So I guess in this case we have 3 because we don't have the 3 staring at it. And then can be 5. Sorry, let's make sure we mark the 5. So that's saying 8 can go... Oh, it can't go in the third slot. Sorry, it can't go in the third slot because the third slot is already taken by a 4. So actually, this is either 1 saying 8 goes here, 8 here, we place 5 here, and do a bunch of other stuff. 5 would be in the 1 place, which makes sense. 1 would be in the 8th place, or 8 would be in the 1th place, the first place. I think that makes sense. So 1, 5, can't be 4, 6, can't be 7, 8, or 9. All right, so I've done that. At this point, we should start looking at the single cells then. So the, and that's actually really easy. Wow. We have a low digit. We need a middle digit. The only middle digit we haven't used yet is 6. So this must be 6 here, which says that 2 appears in the 6th slot here. 2 here also tells us that 2 is in the 4th slot here, which means 6 must appear here, which means 2 is in the 6th slot, because again, we need a low, medium, high. This needs to be 1 or 3, and this is 1, 3, 9. 9. 1, 3 always places a 2 somewhere here, which makes sense. 9 says 2 will go here, or 9 says 2 will go here. We need a high digit here. It can't be 8, so this is 7 or 9. Almost have 7, 8, 9 here, so maybe we can work with that. Wait a second, sorry. 2. I placed the 2. 2 gives us 9 here. And 9 tells us that this is 7 or 8. I have to remember my 2 5s and 8s are powerful because they can actually give us additional digits. So let's make sure this is referred to by this and this. This is referred to by this and this. This is referred to by this and this. All right. It looks like we are good. All right. This needs 137. So let's just do that. 137, which means we have a 1397 quadruple, which means 2, 4. Oh, actually 2, 4, 6, 8. All of our even digits will go here outside of the set here. This cannot be 4. That might be a little bit of over pencil marking, but maybe not. 7 tells us 2, and I guess we already knew that. Or 2 can go in 1, 3, which we have. 3, 8, 6, 1, 3. I guess we know 2 can never go here, so one of these is 1, 3, and the other is 4 or 5. So this is 1, 3, 4, 5. Because 3 would place 2 and then do all sorts of work around the board. But 3 would mean that this would have to be 1, and 1 would mean that this would have to be 3. Oh, sorry, 3 can't go there. So let's start with that. 8, 1, 4, 5. All of these are valid options for 8, but what that does mean is this can't be 8 anymore. 4, 5. These are the only places 8 can go in the column. Oh wait, can 8 ever go here? I think it can't because 8 has to go in the 1 or 5 slot. Four, 5. Ugh. I was on a roll and now I'm just kind of sitting here. I guess it does make sense. For context, this puzzle comes from the Heartburn section of their website. So these puzzles are supposed to be, if I remember the definition correctly, how they defined what a heartburn puzzle means, it's going to be something that you're going to look at and you're going to, make some progress and then you're going to just sit and stare at it for a bit and then, eventually make some more progress down the line and then sit and stare and kind of, repeat that pattern. So once again with this 1 3 here, this will be 1 3 and then we need one of 5 or 6. 3. And then we'll do 5 6. This can't be 5. 1 3. This can't actually be 3 because this can no longer be 8. And 6 would place 8 here. So let's do 8 like this. 1 2 6 8. I guess let's just keep actually trying to fill in digits. That's probably the best way to think about this. Where does 5 go? It needs to go, oh, well, it it uh, it can't go here. So this can't be 5. It can't refer to itself. So this cell, let me make sure, to place 5 can't be 1 2 3. It can't be 4. It can't be 5. It could be 6. So 6 could point to 5 here. It could be 7. It could be 8. And it could be 9. So right now, 5 can just go in any of these cells. This is actually very similar because it can't be 1 2 3. Can't be 4. Can't be 5. It can't be 6, though. Oh, 7. Can't be 7. Wow. Just Sudoku. Um, it must be 6. Wait, it can't be 6, 7. It must be 8 or 9. Wow. 6, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. So close. Oh, wait, but this can't be 8. So it must be 9. Let me double check. Can't be 1, can't be 2, can't be 3. I guess also, if we just think about entropy line, it needs to either be a middle digit or a high digit. It can't be 4, it can't be 5, can't be 6, can't be 7. If it were 8, this would need to be able to be 3, which it can't. So it must in fact be 9. So 5 is in the ninth position. Now what that tells us, this must be 6, right, to finish off our entropy line. So 5 gets pulled out of all of these. Whoops. That means 4 is definitely in this set here. And it's either 4, sorry, 4 gives us 8, which makes sense because this is what, a 1-8 pair? Let's throw that down. 1-8. I guess we'll keep our corner markings. We might as well. 1, 3, 4, 8, 8. All right. And this can't be 1, 3. We already did that. So now we have a 1, 3, 4 triple. That means that this is a 2, 7, 9 triple. 2, 7, 9. This can't be 2. This can't be 9. 6. 6. Oh no, we already have that. 6 gives us 2. 4. 4 gives us 2. 7 gives us 2. 2 gives us 2. 6 gives us 5. 9 gives us 5. Oh, 5. 5 goes here, which means that this is 6. Easy enough, right? 6. This can't be 9. With this being 7, 8, it means this must be from the set of low digits, the only low digit. Well, I guess we've placed 5. My goodness, I keep forgetting. When we place a digit, we need to make sure it's already referred to. So 5 is in the fourth position. There we go. 5 is in the fourth position. Check our 5s real quick. 5 is in, wow. Oh no, no, I'm set, sorry. 5 is in the third position, 5 is in the fourth position. 5 second, second. 5 is in the sixth, in the first. 6 in the fourth. 5 is in the sixth and the ninth. Wait, no, that's 2. 5 is in the third position. There we go. 5 is in the third position, which means this can no longer be 1. It must be 5 referring to itself then, which means this is from a set of high digits. It can't be 7, 8 because we have a 7, 8 pair, which means this is 9. 9 tells us that 5 appears in the ninth position, which removes 5 as an option here. Oh, 5 gives us 8. Sorry, 5 gives us 8. 8 gives us 5. So we do end up with this nice fully self-referential pattern. I don't know if that always has to happen, but it did happen in the 159 puzzle with from Philip. This might actually be like some sort of theorem that this is always true, that always these intersections will refer to themselves, but oh, sorry, I accidentally went full screen there. All right. All right. 5 gets pulled out of there. We're still missing 1, 7, so this is a 1, 7 pair, which tells us that 5 either goes in the 1th slot or the 7th slot, or the 7th slot. Oh, but 5 already goes in the 7th slot. So this is 7, which makes this 1, which makes this 5. 2, 1, 3, 6. So we have the 1, 3, 6 triple, similar to what we had going on here. It's a 2, 7, 9 once again. So 7 gives us 7 here. And then this is a 2, 9 pair, which we can't quite resolve. 2 and 1 of these 2, 7. All right. So where are we here? We're missing 7 and 9. We know the order. This is 7. This is 9. Also thanks to this 7 here. 1, 8 leaves us with 3, 4. 3, 4. Though actually, where does 8 go? 8 can only go in the third slot, so this must be 8. This is 1. That makes this 4. 3, 5. We need a high digit. It can't be 7. It must be 8 or 9. Oh, 8 or 9. So what are we missing across here? So 6, 8, 9. All right. 6, 8, 9. This can't be 6. Oh, and it can't be, wow, it can't be 8. So it must be 9. 9 gives us 8. That gives us 6. Down the column here, we are missing 3, 8, and 9. It's a chocolate teapot, but maybe our 8 placement? Because 8 can't go in the third slot, that's for sure. I guess also entropy, right? Um, it either goes in the 8th slot or in the ninth. Oh, but this can't be 3 either. So that places 3 here. We have an 8, 9 pair. Column, oh, 3, sorry. 3 must go here, which makes this a 1, 6. 3 tells us that 2 goes here, 9 goes here. This is 6. This is 8. That, I think, forces this to be 8. This is 1, this is 6. 1, 8, 6, 8. Oh, this is 7 then. Sorry, this is 7. 1, this is 3 or 9. Can't be 3, it must, oh, it points to 9, sorry, which makes this 3. This is 1. 1, 3, 7. This is 1, 7. We need the 3 here. And that makes sense because we can now place 2 here. This is 4. 2 gives us 2 here. 2 tells us that this is 1. That makes this 4. This 3. That means 8 is in the 4th slot and 8 is in the 3rd slot. There we go. Whereas 2 is in the 7th slot here and in the 1st slot there. This is 9. This is 7. And we are almost done. This is 8, this is 9. So we have the referring across. We're still missing, what, 4 and 8. So now the question is, oh, 8. So yeah, I was going to say does the 8 refer to itself, but of course we've already referred to ourselves here. The missing digits here are what? 1, 1, 6, 7. This is 7, which makes sense. That's where the 8 went, of course. 1, 6. Where does 8 go? 8 is in the 6th slot. We now have 1 here. This is 4. And to finish us off, we need 1 and 7, and we are done. 23 minutes and 45 seconds with Tartan McGregor by full deck and missing a few cards. So, very exciting to try one of full decks and missing a few cards puzzles for the first time. And yeah, I hope you try this one for yourself. I really like this whole column row indexing thing. It's very, there's some really interesting patterns that that can come from it. In any case, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.